Have you ever noticed that some people are just better at conversation than others? That's what I want to talk about in this video, particularly as it relates to de-escalation. Hey, I'm Jake Newton. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for the Center, and the Center works with organizations to build a culture of safety and resilience. And in this video, I want to talk about what that looks like in the context of de-escalation. Specifically, when we talk about de-escalation, oftentimes we talk about controlling our behavior. Absolutely true. We talk about how we can set ourselves up physically or maybe verbally for success. And there's a whole litany of things we can discuss, but there's three things I want to discuss that are maybe intangibles that we don't necessarily always pick up on. Number one, ego. De-escalation can be facilitated so much by ego, or not facilitated, if you will. You see, so many times we have the propensity to allow our ego to get in the way. We can't control our emotions. We have to be right. Or we get defensive because we feel attacked or we feel threatened. Our perspective feels threatened. When in reality, when somebody is in an irrational state or they're in a state of crisis, it's not about us. It's not about us personally, especially when we talk about things like in organizational context where somebody might be mad at you because they have an issue with the brand and it has nothing to do with you personally. But we take it personal and we allow our ego to get in the way. So before the next conflict that you might experience, think about that. Think about how ego has impacted your conversations historically, and think about how you can mitigate that going into the next potential conflict. It's not about being right. It's about getting it right. And if you just go through the process understanding that it's okay to be wrong, it's okay to get it wrong, but going in and just recognizing that you're more concerned about de-escalating the situation and seeking understanding rather than being understood, that's a good way that you can, inside of you, start settling different things. And this is a great conversation to have with individuals because we all have this issue. There's nobody that is immune to this problem. It's something that we have to tactically and tangibly look at inside of ourselves, have that introspective conversation and make the decision that we're not going to allow it to get in the way. It's a conscious thing that we have to choose. In similar fashion, the second thing is desire. We have to desire to de-escalate the situation. That is something, again, that you can think about and plan to do before the situation even occurs. You have to make the commitment that you want to de-escalate the situation. So many times, there's been so many instances where some people want to pour gas onto the fire just because they, for whatever reason, maybe it is the ego issue, maybe they know that they're right, whatever it is. Oftentimes, it's going to stem back to some sort of pride because there's a point that needs to be proven. Regardless of any of those issues, simply having the desire and committing to that desire to de-escalate the situation is going to change how you physically approach the situation. If you would come to it with a defensive stance, if you come to it with the basis of you need to be right, your whole body posture and your whole approach is going to be changed and is going to reflect that. Your nonverbals are going to communicate that and people will pick up on it. Where if you are sincerely trying to de-escalate the situation, de-escalate the conflict, everything else is going to be kind of a natural progression from that. The third thing is asking a lot of questions, particularly open-ended questions, maybe that start with what or how. Asking a lot of questions can facilitate conversation and particularly show that you're trying to understand. People want to be heard and understood, maybe more than anything. So if you can demonstrate that by asking a lot of questions, it's going to help facilitate that. Have you ever been in a conversation where the individual just talks about themselves the whole time and you can't get a word in edgewise? How can you build relationship with that? You can't. It's very difficult. So if you go above and beyond or go outside of yourself and ask questions, that can help the other individual that is in the midst of the conflict, or that is arguing with you, or whatever it is, that can help them feel understood, or at least start that progression. Now, going through this process can take time. It can be difficult. But if you commit to those three things, if you commit to putting your ego aside, if you commit to having the desire or the commitment to getting it right, not being right, and if you ask a lot of questions, that is going to help facilitate de-escalation. I'd love to hear some things that you do for successful de-escalation. Wherever comments can go, put some comments in there. But if you want more comments or content like this, go to cpps.com, check out our newsletter, The Centerfold, sign up for that. Otherwise, until next time, thanks for watching.